6 months after the first contact incident, the galaxy had changed. News of humanity's monster ship had spread through every star system, carried by traders, diplomats, and military scouts. The story grew with each telling, becoming more frightening each time it was shared. Security Officer Tae-Young Song sat at his desk aboard Earth's newest space station, reading intercepted alien communications. The messages painted a picture of a galaxy living in fear. Fear of humanity. "Captain," Tae-Young called to his supervisor, "you need to see these reports." Intelligence analyst So-Young Kim walked over to his station. She was young but experienced in reading alien languages and codes. Over the past months, she had become an expert on how other species viewed humanity. "What are they saying now?" So-Young asked. Tae-Young pointed to his screen. "The Ethereal Confederation has classified Earth as a Class X extinction threat. They believe we have a fleet of planet-killer ships hidden in our solar system." "How many ships do they think we have?" "According to this report, they estimate at least 50 vessels like the Nemesis. They think each one can destroy entire star systems." So-Young shook her head in disbelief. The truth was that the Nemesis was humanity's only deep space exploration ship. Earth had 3 more ships under construction, but they were designed for scientific research, not warfare. "What else?" she asked. "The Crystalline Empire has banned all trade with human space. The Hive Collective has moved their border colonies away from our territory. Even the peaceful plant beings of Verdania have started building defense stations. Because of one misunderstanding? Because of how that misunderstanding looked to them," Tae-Young corrected. "They saw a single human ship defeat 7 of their most advanced vessels using completely unknown weapons. To them, we're not just dangerous. We're incomprehensible." Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, Ambassador Dong-Hyun Choi was preparing for humanity's first official diplomatic mission. His ship, the UES Harmony, had been specially designed for peaceful contact with alien species. It carried no weapons, only scientific equipment and cultural artifacts from Earth. The Harmony was beautiful compared to the industrial ugliness of the Nemesis. Its hull was smooth and white, decorated with images of Earth's art and nature. Inside, the ship held examples of human music, literature, and philosophy. Everything about it was designed to show humanity's peaceful intentions. But even this peaceful vessel frightened the aliens. "Ambassador," Cultural Liaison Yoon-Young Lim said, as she joined him on the bridge, "I've been monitoring alien news broadcasts about our mission. They're not responding well." "What are they saying?" "They think the Harmony is a Trojan horse, a weapon disguised as a diplomatic ship." Dong-Hyun was confused. "How could they think that? We've shared complete specifications of our ship. We've invited inspections. We've done everything possible to prove our peaceful intentions. The problem," Yoon-Young explained, "is that they can't believe a species capable of building something like the Nemesis would send an unarmed ship for first contact. They think it's impossible." She showed him a translated news report on her tablet. "Listen to this. The human diplomatic vessel appears harmless, but experts warn this may be their most dangerous weapon yet. A species that can disguise planet killers as mining ships could easily hide military technology in a diplomatic vessel." "They think we're lying about everything," Dong-Hyun said. "Worse, they think we're so advanced at warfare that we can make weapons look like anything we want." The Harmony's mission continued despite the fear surrounding it. When they reached the Ethereal Confederation's border, 3 full battle fleets were waiting for them. Ships that had never been used for warfare were armed with the most powerful weapons the aliens could build. "Incoming. Transmission," the ship's communications officer reported. "Put it through." An alien face appeared on the screen. This was Sub-Commander Kethron, the same officer who had witnessed the Nemesis in battle 6 months earlier. His expression was a mix of fear and determination. "Human vessel," Kethron said. "You will stop and submit to complete inspection. Any attempt to activate unknown weapons will result in your immediate destruction." "Sub-Commander," Dong-Hyun replied calmly, "we have no weapons. We are here for peaceful negotiations as previously arranged." "We know what your species calls peaceful," Catherine replied. "Your mining ship was also described as peaceful. We will not be fooled again." The inspection took 3 days. Alien technical teams went through every inch of the Harmony, looking for hidden weapons and advanced military technology. They examined the scientific equipment, convinced it was actually sensor arrays for targeting enemy ships. They studied the cultural artifacts. Sure, they were psychological warfare tools. When they found the ship's medical bay, complete with surgical equipment and biological research tools, the alien inspectors were certain they had discovered a biological weapons laboratory. "Ambassador," the lead inspector reported, "your medical facility contains devices capable of dissecting any known species. Your biological research equipment could create diseases that target specific alien physiologies." "Those are standard medical tools," Dong-hyun explained patiently. "Every hospital on Earth has similar equipment. We brought them to help treat injuries during our long journey." "Or to study alien biology for military purposes," the inspector replied suspiciously. Even the ship's kitchen became a source of fear. The aliens discovered that humans ate meat from dead animals, something many galactic species found horrifying. To beings who had evolved from peaceful herbivores, the idea of a carnivorous species confirmed their worst fears about human nature. "They consume the flesh of other creatures," one alien scientist reported to his superiors. "This explains their aggressive behavior and their construction of weapon ships. They are natural predators." The cultural exchange sessions were even worse. When Yun Young shared examples of human music, the aliens analyzed the rhythms for hidden military codes. When she played recordings of human poetry, they searched for battle tactics disguised as art. "This musical composition has a driving beat," one alien cultural expert reported. "It could be used to coordinate troop movements or maintain morale during combat." "And this poem about nature," another added, "contains multiple references to conquest and domination. Climbing mountains and crossing oceans are clearly metaphors for military expansion. Even humanity's attempts to share scientific knowledge backfired. When human scientists offered to share their understanding of fusion power, the aliens saw it as a threat to reveal humanity's weapon technology. When they offered medical knowledge, the aliens worried it was the first step in biological warfare. Trade negotiations became military briefings. Every human offer of friendship was analyzed for hidden threats. Every gift was examined for weapons technology. "We can't win," Yun Young told Dong-hyun after another failed negotiation session. "Everything we do makes them more afraid of us." "Then we keep trying," Dong-hyun replied. "Eventually they'll realize we're telling the truth." But across the galaxy, military fleets were mobilizing. The Ethereal Confederation was building new weapons designed specifically to fight human ships. The Crystal Empire was developing shields that could resist human planet-killer technology. Even, peaceful trading species were buying weapons for the first time in centuries. Fear was spreading faster than truth. Every day brought new rumors about human activities. Reports claimed that Earth was building a massive invasion fleet. Other stories said humans had developed weapons that could destroy stars. Some aliens believed humans could control time itself, explaining how they had defeated the ethereal fleet so quickly. Back on Earth, So Young Kim compiled her daily intelligence report. The galaxy was preparing for a war that humanity didn't want and couldn't understand, all because of one ugly mining ship and a series of terrible misunderstandings. "The irony," she wrote in her report, "is that we built the Nemesis to explore empty space because we thought we were alone in the universe. Now the entire galaxy wishes we actually were alone." The reputation was growing beyond control, fed by fear and misunderstanding. Humanity had become the galaxy's monster, and no amount of explanation seemed capable of changing that image. The first alien ship fired without warning. A beam of pure energy lanced through space and struck the Nemesis on its forward hull. The bridge shook slightly and a few loose tools rattled on their shelves. "Hull breach?" Captain Daeho Kim asked. Chief Engineer Won-ho Lee checked his screens. "No, sir, outer armor absorbed it completely. That weapon barely scratched the paint." Daeho felt a mix of relief and worry. Relief that his ship and crew were safe. Worry because the aliens had just learned that their most powerful weapons could not hurt the Nemesis. "Sir," Tactical Officer Jin-Woo Kang said, 6 more ships are firing. Multiple energy beams incoming. The alien weapons hit the Nemesis from all directions. The ship's hull, designed to survive asteroid impacts and radiation storms, absorbed the energy like a sponge absorbing water. The lights on the bridge flickered once, then steadied. "Damage report," Daeho ordered. "Hull temperature increased by 15 degrees, Won-ho reported. "All systems normal. These weapons are not powerful enough to threaten us." Aboard Fleet Commander Veltar's ship, panic was setting in. Their most advanced weapons were having no effect on the alien vessel. Worse, the massive ship was now moving toward them. "Commander," Science Officer Kethran said with fear in his voice, "their hull is absorbing our energy weapons completely, and they're accelerating directly at our formation." Veltar watched in horror as the ugly alien ship approached. Its massive mining lasers were rotating to face his fleet. Those terrible mechanical arms were reaching out like claws. This was exactly what he had feared. The aliens were preparing to destroy his ships one by one. But on the Nemesis bridge, Captain Dae-ho was trying to avoid a fight, not start one. "Won-ho," he called to his chief engineer. "Can we disable their ships without destroying them?" Won-ho scratched his gray beard. "Well, sir, the mining charges could disable their engines if we set them to low power, and the cargo manipulators could grab their ships and hold them still. The manipulators are rated for asteroid handling," systems analyst Ji-eun Hong added. "Those alien ships are much smaller than most asteroids." "Do it," Dae-ho ordered. "Minimum force necessary. I want them stopped, not destroyed." What happened next would become legend throughout the galaxy, though not for the reasons anyone expected. The Nemesis launched a spread of mining charges, small explosive devices designed to break up space rocks. Chief Engineer Won-ho and his assistant Kyung-min Jang had set them to the lowest possible power setting. To them it was like using a small firecracker instead of a stick of dynamite. To the aliens it looked like the massive warship had fired some kind of new weapon system. The charges exploded around their ships, sending out electromagnetic pulses that disrupted their systems. 3 alien ships immediately lost power and began drifting. "Impossible," Kethran whispered. "They disabled 3 of our ships with one attack." Veltar could only watch as the alien monster approached his remaining vessels. The massive mechanical arms reached out and grabbed 2 of his ships, one in each claw. The metal arms closed around the crystal hulls with crushing force. Inside those ships, alien crews felt their vessels being squeezed. Hull plates cracked. Systems failed. But the mechanical arms stopped just short of crushing the ships completely. Instead, they held the vessels motionless like a giant hand holding a small bird. Navigation Officer Sang-ho Yoon was coordinating the operation from his station. "Cargo arms have secure grip on targets 2 and 4, he reported. "They're not going anywhere. Their weapon systems?" Dae-ho asked. "Offline," Jinwoo confirmed. "The manipulator arms are blocking their firing arcs, and the EMP from the mining charges disabled most of their electronics." "Sir," Communications Officer Subin Park called out, "the remaining alien ships are trying to retreat." Dae-ho watched the last 2 alien vessels turning away from the battle. But the Nemesis had been built to chase down fast-moving asteroids. Its engines, designed for long-term operation in deep space, easily kept pace with the fleeing ships. "Launch mining nets," Won-ho suggested. "Standard asteroid capture protocol." The nets shot out from the Nemesis like giant metal spider webs. They wrapped around the fleeing alien ships and contracted, pulling them back toward the human vessel. Within minutes, all 7 alien ships were either captured or disabled. The entire battle had lasted less than 10 minutes. The humans had treated it like a routine mining operation, using standard equipment and procedures. They had captured an entire alien fleet without firing a single shot from their actual weapons, but from the alien perspective, they had just witnessed the most terrifying military display in galactic history. A single ship had defeated 7 advanced vessels using weapons and tactics they had never seen before. The aliens had fired their most powerful weapons and achieved nothing. The humans had responded with unknown technology that disabled ships instantly and captured them with mechanical precision. "Commander," Kethran said quietly, "what kind of species fights like that?" Veltar had no answer. In all his years of military service, he had never seen anything like it. The humans had not fought like soldiers. They had fought like farmers harvesting crops, systematic and efficient. On the Nemesis bridge, Medical Officer Yoo-jin Nam was monitoring the captured ships. "Captain," she said, "I'm reading life signs on all alien vessels. No casualties reported." "Good," Dae-ho said with relief. "Open a channel to all ships." "Channel open, sir." "Alien vessels, this is Captain Kim. Your ships have been disabled to prevent further conflict. We will release you immediately if you agree to peaceful negotiations. We do not want to hurt anyone." The response came from Veltar, his voice shaking. "What do you want from us?" Just to talk, Daeho replied honestly. We want to learn about your people and share information about ours. We want to be friends, not enemies. Friends? Veltar could not hide his disbelief. You just defeated our entire fleet using weapons we do not understand. You captured our ships like they were toys. What kind of friendship can exist between such unequal powers? Daeho was quiet for a moment, trying to understand the alien commander's fear. Finally, he said, the kind where the stronger protects the weaker instead of dominating them. We have no interest in conquest. We just want to know we are not alone in the universe. Systems analyst Jiun Hong was monitoring alien communications. Captain, she said softly, they're transmitting to their homeworlds. High-priority military channels. What are they saying? I can't understand the language completely, but I'm picking up repeated references to planet killer and extinction threat. I think they're warning their people about us. Daeho felt his heart sink. Humanity's first contact with alien civilization, and they had already been labeled as monsters. The irony was bitter. They had built the Nemesis to explore empty space, never dreaming they would meet anyone. Now that ugly practical ship had become humanity's introduction to the galaxy. Sir, Wonho said from his engineering station, what are your orders regarding the captured vessels? Daeho looked at the alien ships held in his cargo manipulators and caught in his mining nets. 7 beautiful ships filled with frightened beings who now saw humanity as the greatest threat in the galaxy. Release them, he ordered. All of them. Let them go home. Sir? Jinwoo questioned. They might bring reinforcements. Then we'll deal with that when it happens, Daeho replied. But we will not hold prisoners or start an interstellar war because of a misunderstanding. As the Nemesis released the alien ships, Veltar could not understand the human captain's behavior. Victorious conquerors did not simply release their prisoners. Military forces did not show such mercy to potential enemies. Perhaps, he thought as his damaged ship limped away, there was more to these humans than their terrible ships suggested. But it would take time for the galaxy to learn that lesson. For now, the only thing spreading through space was fear of humanity's monster ships and the creatures who commanded them. Captain Daeho Kim stared at the massive view screen showing the endless black of space. The UES Nemesis drifted slowly through the Kepler 442 system, its 12-kilometer hull casting strange shadows in the light of the distant star. The ship was not beautiful. It looked like someone had taken apart 3 different spaceships and welded them back together with parts from an asteroid mining station. Daeho had commanded many ships in his 30 years of service, but none like this one. The Nemesis was built from old mining platforms, retired warships, and whatever else Earth Command could find in the scrapyards. Its hull was covered in sensor arrays that stuck out like metal thorns. Giant mining lasers pointed in all directions. Cargo bays the size of city blocks hung from the main body like giant metal boxes. The bridge was cramped and noisy. Pipes ran along the ceiling, carrying coolant to the massive fusion reactors. Everything hummed and clicked and buzzed. It was not the clean, quiet bridge of a military ship. It was the working bridge of a ship built to survive in the deep darkness of space, far from any help. Captain, Communications Officer Subin Park called from her station. Her fingers moved quickly over the control panels. I'm picking up something strange. Daeho walked over to her station. Subin was young but good at her job. She had joined the crew just 6 months ago, fresh from the academy. Her dark eyes were focused on the screens in front of her. What kind of strange? Daeho asked. It's a signal, sir. Artificial, definitely not natural. Subin's voice was excited. The pattern is too regular. Too organized. Chief Engineer Wonho Lee looked up from his station. His hands were already dirty from working on the ship's systems. Wonho was older than most of the crew, with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been fixing ships since before Daeho was born. Could be equipment malfunction, Wonho said. These old sensors act up sometimes. No, sir, Subin shook her head. I've checked everything twice. This signal is real, and it's not coming from us. Science Officer Haewon Cho pushed back from her station and walked over. Haewon was quiet most of the time, always studying data and making notes. She was the smartest person on the ship and everyone knew it. Let me hear it, Haewon said. Subin played the signal through the bridge speakers. It was a series of pulses, long and short, with pauses between groups. The pattern repeated every 30 seconds. Mathematical sequence, Haewon said after listening for a minute. Prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Someone is trying to show they understand math. The bridge went quiet except for the humming of the ship's systems. Everyone understood what this meant. After 200 years of looking, humanity had finally found someone else in the universe. First contact protocols, Deho ordered. Subin, start recording everything. Hey One, I want a full analysis of that signal. One-Ho, make sure all systems are running smooth. We don't want anything breaking down right now. The crew moved quickly. This was the moment they had all trained for, but never really expected to happen. The Nemesis was an exploration ship, built to survey empty star systems and look for planets humans could use. Finding actual aliens was a dream most of them had given up on. Sir, Navigation Officer Sang Ho Yoon called from his station. I'm showing multiple contacts on long-range sensors. They're moving this way. Deho felt his stomach drop. How many? 6 ships. Maybe 7. They're still at the edge of sensor range, but they're definitely coming toward us. Speed? Fast. Faster than anything we've got in the fleet. Deho moved to the tactical station where Jinwoo Kang was working. Jinwoo was the ship's weapons officer, though the Nemesis was not really a military ship. Its weapons were mining lasers and defensive systems, designed to break up asteroids and fight off pirates. What do our weapons look like to them? Deho asked. Jinwoo checked his screens. The main mining array puts out enough power to crack a small moon. The defensive lasers could cut through most ship hulls, and the cargo manipulators could grab and crush anything smaller than us. So we look dangerous. Sir, to anyone who doesn't know what this ship really is, we look like the most dangerous thing in space. Medical Officer Yujin Nam spoke up from her station. Captain, maybe they're just curious. The signal we detected was peaceful. They're trying to communicate. Maybe, Deho said. But his years of experience told him to be ready for anything. Subin, are you getting anything from the approaching ships? Yes, sir. They're transmitting. Subin worked at her controls. It's coming through now. The bridge speakers crackled with static, then cleared. A voice spoke in perfect English, though the tone was strange, almost musical. Unknown vessel, you will power down your weapon systems immediately. You will prepare to be boarded for inspection. Any resistance will be met with force. The bridge went silent. Deho felt anger rising in his chest. After 200 years of dreaming about meeting other intelligent life, this was how it started? With demands and threats? That doesn't sound very peaceful, Wan-Ho said. They think we're hostile, Hae-Wan said quietly. Look at our ship from their point of view. We're huge, covered in weapons, built like a fortress. They probably think we're an invasion force. But we're not, Yujin protested. We're explorers. They don't know that, Deho said. He thought quickly. The alien ships would be in visual range soon. Whatever happened next would determine whether humanity's first contact with alien life would be peaceful or violent. Subin, open a channel. Channel open, sir. Deho took a deep breath. This is Captain Dae-Ho Kim of the United Earth ship Nemesis. We are an exploration vessel on a peaceful scientific mission. We mean no harm and wish to establish friendly contact. The response came quickly. You lie. Your ship is clearly a weapons platform designed for planetary assault. Power down your weapons or we will disable them for you. Captain, Jinwoo said quietly. If we power down everything, we're defenseless. If they're hostile, we're dead. Dae-Ho looked around the bridge at his crew. These were good people, explorers and scientists who had volunteered for a mission to the edge of known space. They deserved to make it home alive. Negative, Dae-Ho replied to the aliens. We will not power down our defensive systems, but we are willing to talk and prove our peaceful intentions. The alien voice came back colder than before. Then you have chosen war. On the main screen, 7 ships appeared out of the darkness. They were beautiful, made of what looked like crystal and metal flowing together like water. They moved with grace and speed that made the Nemesis look like a flying brick. But the Nemesis was built to survive in the deep cold of space, where one small mistake could kill everyone aboard. It was built strong, built tough, and built to keep working no matter what happened. All stations prepare for contact, Dae-Ho ordered. And remember, we didn't start this fight. Fleet Commander Veltar watched the massive alien ship through the crystal viewing wall of his command vessel. In all his years of exploration and first contact missions, he had never seen anything like it. The ship was enormous, ugly, and clearly built for war. The Ethereal Confederation had made contact with 43 different species across the galaxy. Each time the process was the same. Two civilizations would meet, exchange greetings, share knowledge, and eventually work together for the good of all. It was how intelligent beings were supposed to behave. But this ship was different. It looked like someone had taken the worst weapons of war and built them into a single massive platform. Energy readings showed power levels that could destroy planets. Weapon systems pointed in all directions. The hull was thick enough to survive bombardment from an entire fleet. "Commander," his science officer Kethran said softly, "their ship appears to be some kind of mobile fortress. Those energy signatures are unlike anything in our database." Veltar studied the readings on his display. The alien ship's main weapons put out more power than his entire fleet combined. The smaller weapons could cut through their hulls like paper, and those strange mechanical arms looked designed to grab enemy ships and tear them apart. What kind of species builds something like that for first contact? Veltar wondered aloud. "A species that conquers rather than cooperates," Kethran replied. "Look at the design, Commander. Every surface is armored. Every weapon has overlapping fields of fire. This is not a ship of exploration. This is a ship of war." Veltar had commanded first contact missions for 20 years. He knew what exploration ships looked like. They were sleek, beautiful, designed to show the best of their civilization. They carried scientists and diplomats, not enough weapons to destroy star systems. They called themselves explorers, Veltar said. Of course they did. What conqueror admits their true purpose during first contact? Kethran's voice was bitter. "They want us to lower our guard." On the communication screen, the alien captain appeared again. He was a strange-looking being with hair only on the top of his head and pale skin. His eyes were small and cold. Behind him, Veltar could see the alien ship's bridge full of weapon controls and battle stations. "This is Captain Dae-Ho Kim," the alien said. "We are peaceful explorers from Earth. We want to establish friendly relations with your people." Veltar looked at the readings again. The alien ship had just powered up additional weapon systems. Energy signatures were climbing to dangerous levels. Whatever these creatures were saying, their actions told a different story. Meanwhile, aboard the Nemesis, Captain Dae-Ho was trying to understand why everything was going wrong. The aliens had appeared out of nowhere, demanded their surrender, and refused to believe they were peaceful. "Sir," Communications Officer Subin Park said, "I'm reading massive energy buildup from their ships. They're charging weapons." Chief Engineer Wan-Ho Lee was bent over his control station, making adjustments to the ship's systems. "Power couplings are acting up again," he said. "I'm bringing backup generators online to compensate." What Wan-Ho didn't know was that his routine maintenance work looked like aggressive weapon charging to the alien sensors. Every time he powered up a backup system, the aliens saw it as another weapon coming online. Science Officer Haewon Cho was studying the alien ships through the main telescope. "Their technology is incredible," she said with excitement. "Look at how their hulls seem to flow like liquid. And those energy signatures suggest they're using some kind of biological fusion system." Tactical Officer Jin Woo Kang was less impressed with the alien technology. "Pretty ships," he said, "but their weapon systems look weak. Those energy beams might cut through normal hull material, but our mining armor could probably take dozens of hits." What Jin Woo thought was defensive analysis, the aliens interpreted as tactical planning for an attack. Their sensors picked up his scans of their ships and read them as targeting data. "Captain," Navigation Officer Sang Ho Yoon called out, "they're moving to surround us." Classic attack formation. Dae-Ho watched the alien ship spread out around the Nemesis. Their movements were graceful, almost like a dance. But Dae-Ho had enough military experience to recognize what he was seeing. "Defensive positions," he ordered. "Rotate the ship to keep our main mining array pointed away from them. I don't want them thinking we're targeting them." But the Nemesis was designed for asteroid mining, not space diplomacy. As the massive ship slowly turned, its mining lasers swept across the alien formation like the guns of a battleship taking aim. The cargo manipulator arms extended automatically as part of the rotation sequence, looking like a giant metal spider preparing to attack. Aboard Veltar's ship, alarms were sounding. The alien vessel was bringing its main weapons to bear on his fleet. Those massive mechanical arms were extending toward his ships like claws. Energy readings showed the creature's main cannon charging to full power. "Commander," Kethran said urgently, "they're targeting us. Main weapon is powering up. We need to act now or they'll destroy the entire fleet." Veltar felt sick. He had hoped these aliens might be different, that first contact could still be peaceful. But the evidence was clear. The aliens had built a ship of war, lied about their intentions, and were now preparing to attack. All ships, defensive formation. Veltar ordered. Prepare to disable their weapons. Try not to destroy them if possible. We still need to learn about their species. Back on the Nemesis, Medical Officer Eugene Nam was monitoring alien communication channels, trying to understand their language better. "Captain," she said, "I'm picking up multiple voices on their command frequency. They sound scared." "Scared?" Deho was surprised. "They're the ones making threats." "Yes, sir, but the tone of their voices, the speed of their speech. These are the sounds of people who think they're about to die." Systems analyst Jeon Hong looked up from her station. "Captain, our sensor sweeps are being interpreted as targeting scans. Our power management looks like weapon charging. Even our rotation to keep weapons pointed away from them looks like we're getting ready to fire." Deho finally understood. The aliens weren't being aggressive because they wanted to fight. They were being aggressive because they thought humanity had come to destroy them. "Open a channel," Deho ordered. "All frequencies." "Channel open, sir." "Alien ships, this is Captain Kim. I think there has been a terrible misunderstanding. We are not soldiers. We are not conquerors. Our ship looks like a weapon because we built it from mining equipment and old military parts. We are explorers who reuse everything because resources are limited where we come from." The response came quickly from Commander Veltar. "Your ship radiates enough power to destroy planets. Your weapons could level cities. Your armor could withstand fleet bombardment. What exploration requires such terrible tools of war?" "We explore dead space," Deho replied honestly. "Empty star systems with dangerous asteroids and radiation. We built this ship to survive in places where nothing else lives. We never expected to meet anyone else out here." There was a long pause. Finally, Veltar responded. "If you are truly peaceful, you will power down your weapons and allow us to inspect your ship." "If you are truly peaceful," Deho replied, "you will understand why we cannot make ourselves defenseless to strangers who started this conversation with threats." Both commanders stared at their screens, trying to decide if the other was telling the truth. Around them, their crews waited for orders that would determine whether humanity's first contact with alien life would end in friendship or war. The distress call came through the ship's speakers like a scream in the darkness. Captain Deho Kim was eating his morning meal when the message reached the UES Nemesis II. The new ship was even bigger and uglier than the first Nemesis, covered in more mining equipment and industrial machinery. "Any ship that can hear this, please help us," the alien voice cried. "Pirates are attacking our colony on Thalos Prime. Our defense ships are destroyed. We have thousands of civilians who cannot escape. Please, someone help us before they kill us all." Communications Officer Subin Park looked up from her station. "Captain, that signal is coming from ethereal Confederation space. Earth Command has ordered us to stay away from their territory." Deho set down his food and walked to the bridge. Through the main view screen, he could see the stars that separated him from people who needed help. People who were probably dying while he sat here safe on his ship. "How long to reach Thalos Prime?" he asked Navigation Officer Sang Ho Yoon. 6 hours at maximum speed, sir. Set course. Full power to engines." Tactical Officer Jin Woo Kang turned in his chair. "Sir, our arrival might cause more problems. The aliens still think we're a warship." "Then we'll explain later," Deho replied. "Right now, people are dying." The Nemesis II jumped to faster than light speed, racing through space toward a system where they were not wanted, to help people who might fear them as much as the pirates attacking them. When they arrived at Thalos Prime, the situation was worse than the distress call had described. 5 pirate ships were surrounding 3 large colony vessels. The civilian ships had no weapons and were trying to escape, but the pirates were faster and better armed. "Sir," Security Chief Min Woo Bei reported, "the pirates are boarding the colony ships. They're taking prisoners and stealing supplies." Chief Engineer Wan Ho Lee was already preparing his equipment. Despite his old age, his hands were steady as he calibrated the mining systems. "Mining charges ready for precision work," he said. "Cargo manipulators standing by. Remember," Deho told his crew, "those colony ships have civilians aboard. No mistakes." The pirates spotted the Nemesis II as soon as it appeared, the massive human ship. 12 kilometers of industrial machinery and mining equipment looked like death itself approaching through space. Every pirate in the system had heard the stories about human monster ships. Human warship. The pirate leader broadcast immediately. "This is Captain Vextar. We surrender completely. Do not fire your planet-killer weapons. We will leave the system right now. Negative, Deho replied coldly. You will release all prisoners, return all stolen property, and surrender your ships for inspection. The people you attacked will decide what happens to you. The pirates powered down their weapons instantly. They had all heard what happened to the ethereal Confederation fleet that tried to fight a human ship. No pirate wanted to test those stories, but the real change began when the alien civilians aboard the colony ships saw what the humans did next. Rescue Coordinator He Jin Yu launched her teams immediately. Medical teams to Colony Ship Alpha, she ordered. Engineering teams to Colony Ship Beta. Priority repair teams to Colony Ship Gamma. They have hull damage and failing life support. Medical Officer Eugene Nam led her team to the most damaged colony ship. The aliens inside were hurt, scared, and had never seen humans before. They had only heard the frightening stories about the species that built monster ships. Do not be afraid, Eugene said gently as she knelt beside an injured alien child. We are here to help you. The human medical team worked for hours, treating alien wounds with careful precision. They had never seen these alien species before, but they adapted their techniques and shared their supplies without question. They treated alien civilians with the same care they would show their own families. Engineer Na-Young Kim and her repair teams did something even more amazing. Using mining equipment and spare parts from the Nemesis II, they not only fixed the damaged colony ships but actually improved them. Your power system was not working efficiently, Na-Young explained to an alien engineer. I rerouted the energy flow through these backup channels. You should get much better performance now. The alien stared at the repairs in amazement. In just a few hours, using tools that looked primitive compared to alien technology, the humans had made his ship work better than it ever had before. Elder Morden was the oldest being on the colony ships. He had lived for 90 years and had seen many different species across the galaxy. But he had never seen anything like these humans. Why are you helping us? He asked Captain Deho as they watched human crews unloading emergency supplies for the colony. Because you needed help, Deho answered simply. But we are strangers to you. Our governments fear each other. Your ships look like instruments of war. Deho smiled. Would you like to see why our ships look this way? He took the old alien on a tour of the Nemesis II. Morden saw the huge mining lasers that could break apart asteroids, the massive cargo systems that could move mountains of metal ore, the thick armor designed to protect the crew in the dangerous emptiness of deep space. We built these ships to work in places where nothing else lives, Deho explained. Empty star systems full of radiation and flying rocks. We made them strong because space wants to kill us. We made them ugly because we care more about staying alive than looking pretty. And your weapons? Tools, Deho said. Mining lasers to cut up asteroids. Cargo arms to move heavy objects. Explosive charges to clear dangerous debris. We never thought of them as weapons until we met other people in space. Morden began to laugh. It started as a quiet chuckle, then grew into full laughter that echoed through the ship's corridors. What is funny? Deho asked. The entire galaxy is terrified of you, Morden said, wiping tears from his eyes. Because you are too good at building things that work. Is that bad? No, the old alien said. It is wonderful. But it makes you the most dangerous species in the galaxy, because you can turn anything into a solution for any problem. When news of the Thelos rescue reached the galactic communication networks, everything changed. For the first time, aliens heard testimony from people who had actually been helped by humans. They saw video recordings of human doctors saving alien lives. They watched human engineers fixing alien ships with impossible solutions that somehow worked perfectly. Director Boram, Lee of the Human Galactic Cultural Exchange, received her first cooperation request 3 days after the rescue. Then another. Within a week, her communication systems were overloaded with messages from alien governments wanting to learn about human technology. The Crystalline Empire asked how humans made their ships so tough. The plant beings of Verdania wanted to know about human mining techniques for farming. Even the proud Ethereal Confederation quietly requested information about human repair methods. But humanity's reputation as the galaxy's most dangerous species did not disappear. Instead, it gained a new meaning. The aliens realized that humans were dangerous not because they wanted to conquer, but because they could solve any problem with whatever materials they had available. We are still the most frightening species in the galaxy, Ambassador Dong Hyun Choi said during a cultural meeting. Yes, agreed Elder Mordun, who had become humanity's first alien friend. You can turn any tool into a weapon, fix any problem with spare parts, and adapt to any situation. That terrifies species who can only do one thing well. But now they know, added cultural liaison Yoon Young Lim, that we use all that dangerous ability to help people instead of hurt them. The final message of the day came from Earth Command to Captain Daeho as he prepared to return home. Congratulations on successful diplomatic breakthrough. Please explain why our communication systems have been crashed by alien tourism applications, requesting visits to legendary human monster ships. Also, the Ethereal Confederation wants technical specifications for human asteroid mining equipment for planetary defense. What exactly did you tell them? Daeho looked out at the stars where alien ships now approached human vessels without fear. The galaxy had learned that the most frightening-looking things could also be the most helpful. I told them the truth, he replied. We are just people who are very good at making things work. 6 months later, the UES Nemesis II had become the flagship of the first joint human-alien exploration fleet. Its ugly industrial design was now celebrated throughout the galaxy as a symbol of practical genius. Alien engineers studied human techniques not to build weapons but to build things that actually worked. The galaxy's worst nightmare had become its greatest hope. And it all started because humans built their ships to survive, not to impress.